Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, our channel. Chris is continuing to take some time away from the channel, so I am here ready to react to Hunting Palismen. If you haven't been here before, welcome to Breakdown Boys. We are two trans writers who are responding and breaking down stories we love, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and any potential suggestions we have. I've really been loving every episode of The Owl House this season. It's been knocking it out of the park, and yeah, I don't really have a ton of predictions. It seems like this one is going to involve school, so hopefully we'll have a follow-up with the Amity plotline. They're going to be looking for Palismen, so maybe Luz will finally get her own staff, which would be super exciting. I hear the Golden Guard is going to be involved in this one. Yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm ready to go. So without further ado, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Coven leaders, Coven leaders.
Magic under the Coven system, just as the Titan.
Oh, the Abominatons.
The 9th glimpse of the reward that awaits.
The Abominations Coven leader not only looks really cool, he also looks like he's the most tied into this whole system. I don't know why I think that, but Kiki more not happy, but what's wrong with Bellows? Like, this must be the curse thing. Yep.
Uncle, let me help.
Uncle. Okay. That's just a lot of lore to unpack. Jeez. Whoa. Yes! Hair change! Yes! Yes! You know what? I'm actually gonna rewind to the top of the... No, I won't. Oh my god. Yes! Hair change! Ah! And outfit change. Fairly certain. Edith's updated her outfit. Yes! New titles! I'm gonna rewatch them at the end.
Squeeze it out.
Oh. Does Luz have a new outfit? It looks like it.
Hey, Willow. Shouldn't Amity be here?
Yeah, there is Amity. Why? What?
This momentous day, you're all about to receive.
Why does that make sense?
And more importantly, meet your Palismen.
Why they keep doing this to us? Broken leg, now she's at home.
Palismen are lifelong partners.
Holy Titan.
What?
Here helps me see.
Okay, this is pretty cool. I want to open my own veterinary clinic for mythical pets.
Oh man, hers is so cool.
I be a witch.
Everyone's like, nah, bro.
It just takes a little longer. Did I expect to be a witch back in Connecticut?
She's from Connecticut? Love it.
Did you come here for me?
No. King because it's curious, but that's just like you. Oh man.
Ugh, him again.
Thank you, Luz. That's how I feel.
True, ma'am. Is the Golden Guard really? This is all that remains. Such a horrible accident, probably caused by the incompetent pilot.
I'll alert the castle. Scouts, to Letissa.
Kiki Mora playing games. I really appreciate how not perfect his face is.
Never seen magic.
He has a scar, he has bags under his eyes.
Don't want to spook you.
I've never seen glyphs before, but it seems very similar to the elemental magic practiced in the Savage Ages.
Really?
Actually, not many people know this, but no. This stuff is restricted for a reason. You should forget
I
about
see.
it before you're
He's a
hurt.
magic geek.
Editing Gabriel. I didn't have a lot of thoughts on the middle part of this episode, but I thought I could pause to go over some observations that I missed the first time around, like the fact that it's Gus's dad who wants him to be the illusionist. And so I'm glad that we're expanding on Gus's arc here of him exploring who he wants to be and why, and I think it's a key piece of information that his dad wants him to be an illusionist, but maybe that's not what he wants, and he says he wants to be an ambassador to the human realm, and that will tie in with what I think Endgame is, which I discussed at the end of this episode, so that's pretty cool.
Good morning, Bat Queen. The Palismen are all accounted for, although I don't know where that thing came from.
You found someone after all this time. Go then.
To hunter or to lose? Let's find out.
What did you get into?
To hunter then.
Let's just say that the Bonesboro Garden Club
Was robbed by us!
They're so cute. Good to go back and watch the title skit. Yeah, we got a new outfit, we got heel torn, we got change of hair, and maybe a different necklace. It doesn't glow. Okay. Okay. It's weird. I don't have like a ton of thoughts. So she met the Golden Guard, and we got to know more about him. His name was Hunter. He got a Palisman. This was really like his introduction episode. He was clearly introduced with a strong motivation. He wants to help his uncle. And then underneath that, you definitely got a sense that he just wants to know more about magic in general, and he's a magic nerd.
Which is probably why the Curious Cardinal chose him.
And then you got his flaw is that he feels indebted to Belos, right? So he feels like he would be powerless without Belos, so he has to do what Belos says and is following all of Belos' plans. You can already tell that he's going to grow out of that, right? That's how character arcs are structured. I mean, I guess you could have a fall arc where you hope that he grows out of it and he just doesn't. And then he'll betray his Palisman friend that he just made, and that'll be like a sign that he has really turned to the dark side. So maybe he'll go that dark. That's a possibility. It's set up for that as well. But maybe it'll be a little bit more standard. He'll have a growth arc, and he will end up helping Rebellion and helping lose and such. So I guess we'll have to see. So I think it was a solid setup, solid introduction. I can't claim that I'm super interested in his character. I like him better certainly than when he first appeared and was just kind of a cocky Golden Guard dude. It's cool. That's how I feel. It's like a 3. It's like, okay, cool, interesting. You have a solid character arc set up. Let's see where it goes. It seems pretty standard. And that's just, I don't know. It's like he wasn't like as amusing as like Lilith, for example, right? So Lilith being not a completely new character, but definitely coming in with like new sides this season, instantly had me hooked. And I wish I could say the same about the Golden Guard, but I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. Luz not knowing what she wants, I think that was really interesting and really honest. And yeah, I'm wondering, clearly Belos wants to unite the realms. And so I imagine at this point now that the series will end with some sort of permanent portal so that Luz can be a witch in the demon realms and visit Amity. Because, if they don't have a happy ending, I would be super, super surprised. I think that's, looking at it from a meta level, like that would just be a faux pas for a queer artist. To have queer characters and have this queer plot line and then like end it in tragedy. I just don't think that Terrace would do that. So yeah, it's probably gonna do some sort of Day of Unity. The realms are gonna be permanently connected somehow, but not in a way that Belos controls so that no one gets harmed. And Luz will be able to move back and forth between the two realms, and she'll be able to finally it'll be like symbolic of her finally finding balance between the two sides of herself. The sides that is like quirky and weird and interested in magic, and the side of herself that, and it's not really like a different side of herself, but obviously that she loves her family so much, she loves the people that she cares about so much, and she wants to be able to be connected to all of them. So to Ida and King and Amity and Willow and Gus and Lilith and Hui, and obviously to her mom as well, and be able to maintain all of those connections. So that's my prediction of how this is going to go. And Luz is in this moment where I think it's really good that she can't like clearly just imagine a future for herself, because I think that's really mature to recognize that, yeah, I don't know, because I know that I have things, like I want to contact my mom, I want to find a way to live in both realms. She didn't quite say that, but you know that that's where she's at. And right now there isn't a path forward for that. So I think that when she does see that, she's going to pursue it with like relentlessly, because that's just her personality. And until she can see that, she doesn't commit herself to like someone else's plan or to a false plan. And so I really appreciate that about her. Yeah, and I think it is a sign of maturity. I know she probably feels very unsure right now. She seemed like she felt very unsure, and I'm sure a lot of young people feel very unsure when they're in similar situations, but not immediately committing yourself to a path that's wrong for you is definitely better, and staying in that insecurity. So I appreciate that Luz is doing that, and I really liked it. And that, yeah, I really appreciate this episode. I liked how we got to spend time with Luz and see her explore. Her flaw of like she doesn't think things through, I think that's fair. She's good at making plans in the moment, but doesn't always think long term, and will just go like act on emotional instinct. And her emotional instincts are usually right, like I want to help, but like how she accomplishes it can sometimes get her in trouble, but she always like improvises and finds a way. So I think it's good for her to be more mindful of how she comes up with plans and before like jumping into them, but I also think she should trust herself, and that she has done pretty well so far. Now maybe that may just be like main character bias, right? Like she has plot armor and the story always works out for her and it wouldn't work out for a person in real life. But I don't know, if you're looking back at your track record, Liz, you've done a pretty good job, so I don't know. Oh, and then that very beginning that line at the very beginning where they were like, Amity's not gonna be here, and she's like, oh, Amity stayed home for some reason, and Luce was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like it makes me think that she's doubting how she feels or how Amity feels about her. Like Amity kissed her on the cheek and then walked away, and I don't know. It could be a couple of things. It could be that Luce is feeling like she should have responded in some way, and that because she didn't, Amity may feel like she doesn't like her and Luce feels responsible for that, right? Or it could be that she thinks that Amity changed her mind. Considering it's Luce and she always like feels guilty for things, I think it's gonna be the first one, that like she should have responded in some way in the moment and she didn't, and now she's feeling guilty, like, oh, I should have let Amity know that I liked her too. So I think it's probably gonna be something like that. I am very upset that Amity was not here. Not very upset, but I'm like, I get that wanted the focus of the episode to not be Lumity. I just feel like there has to be a way to be able to have them in the same episode and not have their relationship be the focus. Because like this thing of just like, whenever we don't want to focus on Lumity, we're just going to pull Amity out of the episode, feels very like a ham-fisted solution. Like they can, I don't know, maybe once they reach some sort of equilibrium, but I feel like they can be in the same place and not have everything about their relationship. At least I would hope so, that they can like engage in plots outside of their own relationship together. And if they can't, then, you know, they need to. Like, to be analogous to real life, you, like, yes, if you're in a romantic partnership, then you have times when you're like working and building that partnership, and times when you're just being people in the world, and you guys need to be able to like function in the world together, you know, and interact with friends and hang out with other people, and like go to work and stuff. And story-wise, if you're gonna, like, you have to have your characters who are in a romantic subplot also be able to interact with the main plot and with the rest of the cast in a way that's not informed by their relationship, but is not directly advancing their relationship, or else the romantic subplot just feels like this weird isolated thing that's super separate from the rest of the story. So that's a little bit concerning. I do want to, like, at some point in the future, I hope we see an episode that has Luce and Amity in it, and other people, and they're not directly talking about Lumity stuff, right? It's like, it's not a Lumity plotline, it just has Luce and Amity in it, and they're able to relate to one another and to the main plot. That's now what I have my eye out for. So yeah, those are my thoughts. And what am I ranking? I forgot my ranking for last week. So usually I do out of 5, and I would say from last week's episode, I would give that a solid 4. Like 4 across the board. I was emotionally invested in what was going on. I thought it was really well structured. Well, I shouldn't say it was really well structured because I had lots of, like, I thought the Lumity plot was really well structured. I thought Gus's plot was really well structured, and what would have really like helped them merge together was if they had informed one another, so that's why it's not a 5. But I enjoyed both plots, and yeah, I thought it was a really like above average episode. That's what the 4 means, right? Like, so 3 meaning you did it, you met the standard, and 4 meaning like you excelled. Excellent. So last week's episode I thought was a 4, and then this week's episode, I'm gonna go with a 3.5. Definitely solid, good solid introduction of the Golden Guard or Hunter. We have, like, we clearly understand this, like his character arc. He's completely set up. We know his motivation. We know his ghost. We know his flaw. And so we have a trajectory of where he's going from here. We know a little bit about his personality. Cool. We also got to explore Luz a little bit more in depth, and I think this is a perfect place for where she is in her arc. So I think that was great. I really enjoyed seeing Luz take care of the Palismens, but I wasn't super emotionally invested in this, and in fact, a lot of the characters that I wanted to check in on didn't get to check in on, so like being able to see Amity and Luz interact in a way that wasn't like directly related to Lumity, I would have liked to see that, and didn't. But I didn't get to see as much of Ida as I would have liked in this situation, though I really appreciated how she interacted with the episode, and how she like brought in the wood for Luz at the end. That was super, super sweet. I love it whenever you get to see Luz and Ida show love or caring for one another, and so that was really sweet, and I really loved that. So yeah, so I think it was definitely above average, but not at like the amazing level that like last week's episode was, or that I'd say episode 2 was. So I think officially I'm gonna say episode 2 was a 4.5, episode 5 was a 4, and I'm gonna say this one is a 3.5, similar to like interferences and such. So yeah, with that, I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this reaction and breakdown, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Please give the video a like, comment, share with your friends, help my channel grow. I would love to do more of these and just share my thoughts on more stories with you. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.